What non-sexual thing feels very sexual? I went to a physiotherapist for pain in my jaw, and one of the treatments was a jaw massage, both outside and inside my cheeks. This was over summer, when it was extremely hot, even inside. One day the therapist decided to try out some royalty-free chill medley from YouTube because it was pretty silent otherwise. I was the last person there that day, and he asked me, how do you feel about the music? And I was like, it's maybe a bit much? I didn't dare to tell him that it sounded more like something you'd hear in porn than something relaxing. ER nurse here. Can't talk for physical therapists and massage therapists, but the stress and invasive care of the ER does wonder to kill unwanted boners. Nothing like I have to stick this into your veins or the doc wants to me insert this long and wide silicone tube in your penis to kill a boner. In fact, my mere presence is often enough. My female counterparts regularly deal with sexual harassment, but when they send me in instead, that shit dies out pretty quick. Edit, I got gilded over inserting tubes into penises. I love you sick fucks. When I had my vasectomy, the nurse was fairly attractive. When she shaved my sack for the procedure, there wasn't a hint of arousal anywhere in my body. Humiliated, scared, uncomfortable, but no arousal anywhere to be seen. Which is weird because before that I thought I would really enjoy an attractive nurse shaving my balls. I used to be in a cult for 12 years where you don't have much contact with the opposite sex. One day I was outdoor knocking and giving away free Bibles, and this pretty lady was so grateful she went to give me a hug. I freaked out and backed off, because to my brainwashed, touch-starved virgin mind at the time, that hug felt like making love. After I got out of that cult I slept around a lot, so I'm a lot more familiar with a woman's touch now, but at the time, a hug from a stranger was a dramatic experience. Edit. https://n.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/local_churches_affiliation. Guy, no. You're just sitting there in your tank top and cut off shorts, patiently waiting for your thrill ride to begin. Then all of a sudden this masculine broad-shouldered type comes trotting up to you with his sleeves rolled up in his tan and sweat-slick forearms reaching for you. The first strap is pulled tight, just under your breasts, and you're all like, does it need to be so tight? And he tells you it's as tight as he wants it, and you sort of swallow nervously, and he runs another strap down over your waist, the coarse fabric pressing firmly against your exposed thighs and putting pressure towards the center of them, and you take that little breath, and then he's just staring down at you, trapped beneath him just where he wants you, and his azure blue eyes seem to take on an almost hungry look, and your knees start rubbing together, and then your grandmother sitting next to you says, "My turn, dearie," and it's like, WTF grandma, you ruined this for me. I know exactly what you're talking about. When something funny happens in a crowd and you make eye contact with a stranger and do that smirk thing. Might as well start taking your pants off when that happens. I had this experience in an Einstein's. There was a woman at the register absolutely losing her shit for no reason, and I made eye contact with the guy sitting a table over from me. He shook his head and rolled his eyes, and I smiled. Then the lady went back and sat across from him because she was his wife. Clothing that buttons/zips the opposite way. I'm not getting off on it, it just feels odd and like some sort of forbidden knowledge. Sexual but not sexy, if that makes sense. I like vintage stuff, and there are some cool shirts from the 80s and 90s that aren't fitted, but they still button in different directions. So I'll put on a shirt and try to button it, and it feels like I'm in some forbidden mirror world. Edit. Yes guys, I know it's a gender thing, I have done drag. Wearing a dress and full face to a club is different from wearing a cool vintage shirt to work that buttons the less usual way. Today this guy learned he's been wearing women's clothes. Edit. Do you ever take a crack at comedy and wonder, why do I put myself out there to be hurt? I know clothing doesn't determine gender. Getting a haircut and the lady cutting your hair is constantly pressing and resting her boobs on you. There's been a couple times where instead of her just walking around the chair, she's opted to just lean into me, so I was basically motorboating her. That's so funny. I have a friend who is a hairstylist, and she used to care about that, afraid to offend people with her big boobs, but standing for 12 hours a day made her feet die, so now she just leans over everyone, young, old, male, female, grandma. She did notice though, that everyone loves boobs in their faces, even the old grandmas, and her tips went up quite a bit, so she stopped worrying about offending people. It made me laugh. BC, it's true. I'm an almost 40-year-old lady, and pillow my boobs in my face just look comfortable.